Hello, this is another tough video, so a tell a friend video, this time on my my effort to look after an ideal society, so if it exists at all. So is there an ideal society? Now what we have seen throughout history is, if you take let's say the population of the world, but we could also population of a country, let's say Germany, or you take, it doesn't matter, any America, 350 million, it doesn't matter, the population. So you have people and these ones I would now neutrally say that is the population. And now in some way you have to kind of govern that society. And as Machiavelli said, is how to, he gave very, very clear indications how a successful ruler should rule his kingdom. And the rules are here. It is, so the 5 rules for rulers by Machiavelli. So the first one is accept reality. So the prince or the king should accept it is as it is. No wishful thinking is that. Then use lies. Obviously not always, but if there's a situation where you need to use dishonesty, please use dishonesty. And that goes along with the rule number 3, and that is fool the masses. And the masses are very, very easily fooled by lies, because the masses follow appearance, they do not think a lot. And now in order to make the masses not think a lot, you need the paradigm love or crush. And love or crush actually stops any discussion. So if you are either for me or against me, and if you're against me, I kill you verbally or whatever, so I crush you, and that actually destroys discussion. And then claim the good activities for you, so that there is a thing you I don't know, you have invented something, you have opened the borders to the neighbors, then that is your deed. While the war that had to be done before, or the sacrifices that lots of people were killed or had to do really hard things, that are being given to the helpers, and you can claim them for having done a bad job, which you obviously would not have done. So please only claim the good activities for you. So what I want to show a little bit, if I now structure the population, so you have the prince, I call it prince because of the book Machiavelli, he's called the prince, so the leader. And now the leader then has a group of helpers, they're helpers, and they get some benefits from him, and they then make sure that the big part, so the population, the masses, or the population, that the population is then actually being kind of kept at under control. So the prince has helpers and the masses are being controlled. And now the thing is, obviously in society there are many princes, there are many countries, many realms. And now the thing is, it's not that the princes amongst themselves are always in a love relationship, in a kind of beneficial, so we like each other. Now maybe I could write a smiley, use, no, they have a lot of competition going on between them. So there's maybe even war, they might fight for their reign, so that is not, but if opportunistic, if these two want to go together, then they go together. And if it's against his interest, then he might say, no, now we have war against each other. So that is how the world works. And I would say that these 5 rules for rulers, they are actually a natural, natural law. Yeah, so nature law. So there's nothing we can do about it. They are always true. So these 5 rules are always true. And now, what can we do if we want, as we say here, to develop an ideal society? So somehow we have to be able to kind of take this natural law, and now let's see how we can change them, because they are actually these rules are actually in our genes. And so how can I alter, for example, rule number 1, accept reality? And that is normally the good people, so good people are, and now I write it in green because it's so lovely, wishful thinkers, yeah? And now this is probably the priority one thing. Why? A good, good, well-minded people will never win against the rules that are made for rulers, because use lies, for example. The good people, they always think, yes, it will happen, yes, it will, and the good will win, and so on. But please accept the truth, accept reality, accept as it is. So this is maybe the biggest threat or barrier to the kind of the government of good people. And then the second one is use lies. And here maybe what we could do is make all dollar, so euro, whatever, finance streams public. So in a government, public. So if they are public, then you already can see which are lies. So you could see if he joins them and so on. So if a company goes together with, if they influence. So if you make that the finance streams, the taxes they pay, and so on, which the companies they actually work for, or they have contracts with, or they have shares from, that could be helping in that respect. Number 3, there is this fool the masses. And now the rule you would have to make here is masses. So a person from the masses without name may not take decisions. So only if you have a name to it, and that would mean named elections. So so when you vote, you have to say who you voted. So that's all here, this transparency. So if I say I want this, I'm in favor of that, then I have to put my name towards it. So that means much more openness and transparency. So this is transparency, and this is transparency. And then love or crush. And that is maybe one of the most difficult problems which I see. That is kind of a question mark, because what we need to do is create kind of an environment of discussion, open discussion. Yeah, and this is very, very hard. This is very hard, a discussion culture, to create something like that. I would say almost impossible, because people kind of tend that they do not want to discuss. Number 5, good activities are yours. And here maybe one thing could help, and that is clear responsibilities, clear responsibilities. expertise. You know, but also this goes into transparency. You know, so transparency in terms of, I see the money streams, I see who negotiates with who, you know, like who takes profit, so who profits, you know, money-wise or power-wise. So that is one of the things. So when you look at these 5 rules, I have to say I see almost no possibility. I see no possibility at all that the good people will actually be able to use those natural laws that are given by Machiavelli. I think he was a very, very wise man. I don't know how he actually found out 500 years ago about this, which is kind of innate in the human genes. And because this actually allows a ruler to rule a population. It's fantastic. This is so kind of hard coded in our genes. And the big problem is, so the powerful person usually is not a good person. You know, in himself, the good leader, obviously that would be fantastic. A good dictator, that would be maybe the dream of everybody. So choose a good dictator, and then maybe, because our brain usually turns into, when you have too much power for a long time, your brain turns into a dictator brain. So what you would have to do is maybe you, as a solution, but that is hypothetical, and that is kind of only a dream. So it's kind of this first wishful thinking. It's the good leader, yeah, and then let's say terms of 4 years, and then he leaves. You know, he leaves, and a new one, completely independent, comes up and is also a good leader. But who selects him, and so on. So this is very difficult. The masses are easily fooled, and you know, environment where lots of discussions go on. Who wants that? You know, the people, especially the masses, don't want to discuss, and you know, so it is really, really hard. And I kind of think the way, I think Churchill said that it is the ideal society is democracy. And democracy is really, really bad, but it's the best of the bad, you know. So that is maybe the conclusion. Democracy is the ideal society because we haven't found a better one, and I think really in the center is the 5 rules for rulers by Machiavelli, and if you play that to the letter, you are a good prince, you are a good ruler, and good people will have problems, as we saw here, will have problems to actually use these natural laws. Okay, thank you very much for listening. Have a great day. Comments are most welcome. Bye-bye.